Thank you for joining us today. I hope that God's word will be a blessing to you. May God grant you understanding. You know, Jesus has been talking about the end times, and he's saying that after the church is snatched away, that the temple is going to be destroyed, not one stone on top of another. And he said in the last half of that great tribulation time, as spoken in Daniel chapter 9, like I think verse 27, it's really going to get bad. It's going to be the worst that it's ever been and worse than it ever will be afterwards. And so continuing in that same subject, he says, immediately after the tribulation of those days, in other words, at the very end of that 7 years, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Oh boy. And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky. Jesus, when he called himself Son of Man, he was referring to a fulfillment in Daniel chapter 7. One called the Son of Man who would come and take over all of the kingdoms, and his kingdom would be forever and ever. And so Jesus is saying, I'm that Son of Man, and at the end of the 7 years, I'm going to come back. And he says, all the tribes of the earth are going to mourn. And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with great power and great glory. When Jesus was arrested, they were trying, of course, to find all kinds of charges about him, and everything was made up. And the main thing that they finally came up was blasphemy, because he claimed to be the Son of God. And remember, he had just said in Matthew 24, you'll see the sign of the Son of Man. Well, let's jump a little bit forward to Matthew 26, where Jesus is actually in this little mock trial that they're having in the courtyard of the high priest. And the high priest said, I adjure you by the living God. He was talking to the living God, dummy. But anyway, tell us whether or not you're the Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus said, you said it yourself. Nevertheless, I tell you, hereafter you will see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven. He said, I'm going to come back. And then remember, after Jesus was crucified and resurrected, and he had made several appearances to believers and told them about things about the kingdom, he was taken up from them, it says in Acts chapter 1, and they're gazing in heaven because Jesus, after he finished his mission, has now gone back where he came from. And the angel said, why are you gazing up into heaven? This Jesus whom you saw go up from you will return in like manner. And in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 7, it says, he's coming on the clouds. Every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn because of him. Because when he comes back, he's not coming back on the mission to lay his life down. He's coming back to slay his enemies and to set up his kingdom on earth. God bless you real good. Well done.